This video is for graphing examples 4 and 5. This is vertex form. When you are graphing vertex form, you need to make sure that you remember what vertex form is. Vertex form is A, your stretch, x minus h parentheses squared plus k, where your vertex is at hk, h is your opposite. Now, when you are graphing these, I like to graph by the rules, but it doesn't matter which way you do it. The biggest thing is that you make sure you are consistent with whatever you choose to do. When you are working with what you are choosing to do, the biggest thing I'm going to remind you is that you need to stay consistent and just practice. So your vertex is at hk. Your axis of symmetry is your h value, your min or max. Your k value is your min or max of your vertex. So on your vertex, I have a -2 in my equation. Apologize. -2 in my equation. So with that, I'm going to have a vertex of 2, -4. That vertex, x value, is my axis of symmetry. So my vertex is on my axis of symmetry. My equation is x equals 2. So on my graph over here, I will graph x equals positive 2, excuse me. Your min or max value is your y value, so y equals -4. My a is 3. This is a positive. When a is positive, you have a smiley face. When a is negative, you have a frowny face. A smiley face means you have it opening upwards, which means you have a minimum. Y-intercept. When you find your y-intercept, the quickest and easiest way is plugging 0 in for x. As we learned in standard number 1, plug in 0 for x. I do that on my calculator. So I will type it in exactly as I see it. 3 parentheses 0 minus 2 parentheses squared minus 4. And I get the value of 8. So I have almost everything I want, depending on how you want to do things. So 0, 8 is right here. This is my y-intercept. Axis of symmetry is on 2. Vertex is at 2, -4, so 2, -4. Vertex. And I know it's going to open upwards. The cool thing is to find other points. Your y-intercept mirrors across. So that's an easy one. I'm going to do it by the rule. Right 1, up 1, right 2, up 4, right 3, up 9. With your values, your a value gets times your up because it's a vertical stretch. So I'm going to take this times 3 for each one, which means it's really up 3, up 12, up 27. So I'm going to go right 1, up 3, mirror across. And then the right 2, up 12 is actually the same as these y-intercepts. Now, I'm going to connect these with my dots with my green pen. And then I'm going to cross the y-intercept. I'm not asking you to be so accurate that the values don't get found out. This is just a graph. I'm going to find my zeros. Your zeros are where you cross the x-axis. It's also your x-intercepts. I will always call them my zeros. I will not call them x-intercepts. They are the same thing. So roughly I'm right here and here. I'm slightly off, but that's okay. 0, 1, 0, 2. I'm going to calculate those out on the calculator, and then I'll talk about points on your calculator. When you do this on your calculator, make sure you plug it in exactly as you see it. So as you can see here, I'll delete everything out. I'm going to type it in exactly as I see it here. So 3. And these are a little bit longer than normal calculators, so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. So 3 parenthesis xt theta n minus 2 parenthesis x squared minus 4. This and this need to match. Hit enter. Hit graph. Roughly, there we are. Okay. And if you look here, roughly about the same with my zeros, except minus this one. This one's a little bit wonky, but that's all right. So now we're going to go calculate out our zeros. So when you do this, you can do this a few different ways. Okay. Your zeros and your solutions are the same thing. It's just zeros are your x-intercepts. They're written as a point. Your solutions are written as x equals, which is why we have to denote between the two for when you write x-intercepts and y-intercepts. So here's the biggest thing. When you do this, you're going to go second calc. We're going to calculate out a 0. We're going to be on the left side. So on the left side of your 0, we're going to be on the left side of this first 0. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to arrow down to where my vertex is. That's on the right side of this first 0, and I'm going to hit enter. My 0 is a value in between. Enter. So my 0 is at negative, or at 0.85. Comma 0, because I'm around to 2 decimal places. I'm going to calculate out the other one again. My calculate is 0. I'm going to start at the vertex. That's the left side of the right 0. Oops. Which is at 2. You can type them in. And then you're going to go to the right side. Hit enter. And enter. So now I get 3.15. So my x equals 0.85, comma 3.15. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the typing part, which I wasn't trying to do yet, but I'm going to show you the typing part, is when you look at this on a number line, okay, on a number line, you have zeros, which are somewhere here, and then you have the axis of symmetry, which is in the middle, okay? So, when you are doing left bound, right bound, if I know this is at 2, okay, a number to the left on my graph is somewhere over here. So say negative 1. And then I know my axis of symmetry is 2, and then a number that's off over here to the right is somewhere over here, which is, these are all single notches. Let's go 6. Okay? So what I like to do when I do my calculations is I don't like to trace anymore, is I like to just take values and plug them in. So second calc, 2. I know negative 1 is on the left side of my answer because this is before 0. So if I type in negative 1, enter, that just puts a line right where I want, or puts my arrow exactly right where I want. And then I'm going to pick my vertex value, my axis of symmetry, 2 for my right bound, puts me exactly where I want it to be, and then I can put a value in. Same thing, do it again, second calc. I'm going to do this 0, 2, I'm going to type in 2, enter, which starts me on the left side of this 0. And then I'm going to type in 6, which is some number over here. It don't matter what it is. I don't care if it's at 44 what it is. It gives me a range, and my calculator will calculate out my next 0. I don't trace anymore. That's what I do. So it's left, right, right, left, right. Okay. Second example, once again, vertex form. So my axis of symmetry is from here. It's x equals negative 1. It's opposite of what you see. My vertex is negative 1, comma 3. My min-max value is y equals 3. A is negative 2, which means it's a negative, so this is a max. I'm going to do my rules. Right 1, up 1. Right 2, up 4. Right 3, up 9. I'm going to multiply by negative 2, which means I'm really going to go down 2, down 8, down 18, is -2. That gives me my points on the other side. Solutions, I don't know what they are yet. Y-intercept, I'm going to find it here. I'm going to plug in 0. So on my, I'm going to go -2 parentheses 0 plus 1 parentheses squared plus 3 and graph that out, -5. So 0, -5. Okay. I shouldn't have done that. I should have wrote it on the other side because my axis of symmetry is -1, but that's okay. It's fine. Vertex is at -1, 3. Okay. What did I do wrong? Now, the reason why I know I did something wrong is because this is my y-intercept, and it's at -5. Oh, I typed in the wrong number. I didn't type in 0. I'm like, why is this not working out? Well, that would be why. There we go. So this is an error, because I'm supposed to go right 1, down 2, which means it would be right here. This is the wrong one. Okay. I don't have a whiteout pen, so we will fix that later, but we do know I'm wrong, so that helps. I was panicking. All right. So I'm going to go right 2, down 4, down 8. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put it right there. Over on the other side, 2. Okay. And so that gets me my points. I'm going to connect them. That's why I knew I was wrong. Couldn't figure it out because I typed the wrong number. Curve it. Curve. Okay. Zeros. Looks like it's at -2.5 and at a 0.5, but I don't know until I calculate it out. Okay. Give me 1 second here. So on my calculator, I'm going to go make sure I type it in correctly. I'm going to go y equals. So this is going to be -2 parenthesis. I'm just going to clear that up. -2 parenthesis x plus 1 parenthesis squared plus 3. Graph it. It's maximum value. Great. Awesome. Second calc. 0. So my left bound, I'm going to pick a number over here. Say -5. I know my axis of symmetry is at -1, so my right bound is going to be -1. Enter. -2.22, which means slightly over, which is good. So -2.22. Going to do the same thing again. Second calc. 0. I'm going to type in -1 for my left bound. That puts me just right on top of my vertex. And then I'm going to pick a number over here. I'm going to pick 3. Hit enter, and that gives me 0.22. 0, and so x equals -2.22, comma, 0.22. So that gives me all my values. Great, awesome. Figure that out. Points. I'm going to show you another way you can do points. Just like the other time, if you go second table, you know where your axis of symmetry is. You can find some other pretty points. Okay, now once again, this is my vertex. Make sure that if you do it by a table, okay, you have to draw me a table, and you have to graph these accurately. Okay, None of these are the zeros because of the fact that the zeros were not pretty. But I will always do it by my rules. You can do a table. I don't care, in all honesty. So, hope that helps you.